Here's the extra agenda.
Robin, can you send me an extra pen?
Yes.
You guys let me get
I
here
didn't get
too.
my backpacker last week.
I did.
Nothing to get here.
You got
Thank you.
cat.
What?
Good now.
Good now. Okay. Get this meeting started. Do a roll call. Which
Elaine, here. George,
Present.
Tyler.
Here.
Tommy, George, John.
Here.
And Courtney.
meeting to order. Ready to pray? Okay. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes, April 14, 2025.
It is.
I move to approve the minutes from April 14th, 2025.
Second. All in favor? Any nays? Approval of financial report.
This is the new style, isn't it?
Well, I'm still working.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, that's just all your revenue since February.
Oh,
I'm going back and redoing it all. And I'll get you the expenditure side of it. I've just not had time to get them finished. For Teresa's not here, but we're short-handed.
So now we'll have it in a column like this, column system.
Probably, unless I change my mind.
You can
This
see-
Cumberland's for you, which you'll have the other one too, but I thought that might give you more information that way.
It pretty much shows you all expenditures and put through, all revenue taken in and all deposits made.
Unless y'all want to just split you up.
I know it's probably silly, but like when I pay my property tax, even though I pay it at the Harlan courthouse, that money comes back here,
They
right?
bring it here once a month.
They take out,
Then
6%.
For them collecting it and processing it and everything.
plus if there's any delinquencies, they handle it. We don't have to,
That helps us, that is.
especially if you have to go to an attorney. Same with your alcohol tax, franchise tax, it's a percentage that we get.
I'll make a motion to approve financials.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any nays? That's your county water project. Now you said you had nothing new.
I really don't have any updates. We're still continuing to work and get everything ready to submit in to DLG and the foods.
So we're good on our part, I'm just waiting on everybody. The Division of Water is approved.
Yeah, the only update I have is that I spoke to the property owner that we want to get the tank property for, and he's agreed to donate it to the city. I just have to get the paperwork drawn up and by the city attorney. So
But we're on the right track.
We are. The only permit we don't have is KYTC, and I got one signature today. I've got one still outstanding of property owners, whose property we're gonna pass in front of, have to open cut and replace the asphalt. It's a weird thing that they've never made us do before, but they want us to have all the property owners have knowledge that we're gonna do that before we do it.
And we will for sure be doing away with that old line, even though we're running a new one on the opposite side.
Yeah, that
You'll
one.
just tie on to any mains that go streets. We'll do away with the 8 inch. Or is it 6?
I think it's 6.
6.
But yeah, that'll be cut off completely and the new line will feed all those. Maybe in the future, if you were council mayor wanted to do it, we could do another project to replace those side lines too.
Comments from the council? Lena?
The Lillian Bay annual golf tournament is this Friday at Sleepy Hollow Golf Course here in Cumberland. It's a fundraiser for scholarships by the college. We have 2 tee times available if anyone is interested.
Good.
I don't have any today. Thank you.
Colin?
Not today.
Any updates I have, you asked me about the river widening project, like the schedule. They are held up until they won't be able to get back in the river till June, till after spawning season. That's the manhole that you see sitting in the river will be gone. It's just, it's already dead. They have to remove it when spawning season. And as far as the bridge, they're on track. They had like a 6 to 7 weeks where they had bad weather. So they are on track. They would have been done had the weather not been what it was. Nothing's holding them up for us. They did all their work in the river. They don't have to do anything else. Comments from the public? Who wants to go first?
Okay. Good evening, folks. I'm Ivan Garrett. I live down in Hog Road down there. I just wanted to ask a question about you. Some repairs have been done or been promised to be done down there on our bridge in the area where the last flood that came through. We still have a tree stuck under the bridge. It's blocking about a fourth to a third.
No, that would be the county.
Okay. Do you guys have anything to do with that at all?
No.
Paul just parked across the street, he'll probably be over here.
But I did, we were down there, we had to fix our water line that got ripped out of the river.
Yes.
We did while we were there. We went ahead and packed up the guardrail to try to keep it off some cars, just being out of kindness. But it's not it's nothing we can do about the tree. It's gonna take a monster crane. If you saw that tree, it's the whole stump touching the bottom of the bridge. It drug the water line out. And it was buried in the riverbed.
So the water line is still laying there. The old one is still laying there in the bottom. Is that going to be removed?
The one that's on the bridge?
No, the water line, the original one. is
The
laying in
original one in the
river
river, we won't be doing it unless FEMA does it. We've applied for emergency funding to do a new river bore.
bottom. I mean, the original water line.
That's what I'm saying. We won't be removing it. No.
It's disconnected, it's laying down there in the water.
It's concreted in on each side. And
Go ahead. Okay. It's covered on both ends.
yeah, evidently that tree grabbed it underwater somewhere, but that's where our leak was. There was so much trouble. We went from running the plant.
Since that's county property.
Oh, the overtime. It's
Went from like 20 hours per person and overtime to like
like 2 or 3
4.
now.
Because you have to run everything. But yeah, it's a county bridge. It's not ours.
So the road coming off of their Hog Road, that's a county road too?
Yes.
So we just had a pothole developed Saturday night. It's about 18 inches in diameter right now. It's probably about 1.5 feet deep. Looks like it's creeping towards the ridge. It just keeps opening up.
Yeah.
So I let Paul, I sent him a picture of that.
He's
And
right
if
here
he's coming in
somewhere.
and all,
I'll be glad to give him the message. What was your name again?
Ivan Garrett, he knows me.
Ivan Garrett?
Yeah.
But sometimes quickly developing potholes can be a sign of a water leak.
Yeah.
Well-
Is there a chance that we got a water line? It
No,
could be?
it's on top of the bridge now.
Okay.
But
it does go underground in that area.
Okay.
So I don't know.
if it were leaking, we would know it at the water plant because anyone in high elevations will immediately lose water. That's how we know. We looked for that for probably a month before we found it.
Gilly Hollow didn't have water at night.
What I did notice down there is when that flood happened, it chewed under that bridge and behind it. So I'm thinking that's what it's done, because there was a retaining wall there that's now laying down in the river.
We lost a lot of that. We lost a lot of the river.
So we had our FEMA guy, Corky, we had our FEMA guy go down and look at it. He has applied. We don't know the results till we get done, or he gets done applying. But if we get the money for a new bore, the county may be able to apply for FEMA to go in there and fix the wall on each side of the bridge. And if that pothole that's developing is from where the water is washed behind the, what do they call them, barriers, abutments. If that's what's done that, and I'm assuming it is because I could see way behind that bridge when we were down there.
Yeah.
So what do we do in the meantime, with that pothole developed right in the middle? And it's big enough now that if you drive across there, your tires will
If
sink
you're
into
not
it.
getting any satisfaction from talking to Paul, you would need to talk to Dan Mosley.
I just seen the picture, like I said, it opened Saturday night.
There he goes.
And we noticed this.
There he is. We'll ask him right quick. You walked in at the right time. Got a question for you, this gentleman does.
Yeah, I ain't hearing.
He's got a question for you.
Perfect timing.
Perfect
Maybe
timing.
not ever.
I'm just curious about the pothole that we have.
I saw the picture. I haven't got any updates on it. I know they turned everything into FEMA.
See, we did too on the water line.
Did you all do good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I didn't know if you all did it separately or together, either way.
We have to do the water line only. They won't let us do the abutments because they're not
Yours.
ours.
Good deal.
But we did turn it in, and usually if we turn in our part and the county turns in their part, a lot of times they take it more serious and we can get more funding for it. All we need though is a river bore to put a new line back under the river if they want to do that. Sometimes they'll say leave it where it is. But it's a lot safer where it is.
Well, you all figured out how to keep them from freezing too, doing the
Yeah,
encase it with the foam filling stuff.
Yeah,
or
it's a
whatever.
small 2-inch line inside that bigger line.
Yeah.
Encased in foam.
You figured that out up at Sawmill Hall or whatever.
And
That one kept freezing and you were like, drill holes and
we haven't been back to
worked perfect. It's not frozen since. So,
So is that gonna keep it from freezing in the wintertime?
Yeah.
Since it's above ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it worked. It's not frozen. It froze every year.
Never a guarantee. We'll find out this next winter.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll find out.
But it has worked in the,
Locally.
and they froze every year. Same
Yeah,
situation.
that one froze every single year. It froze usually multiple times a year. It
Sand
was-
Hill did that too. It's been probably 6 years.
So the pothole, should we follow up with, Harlan Road?
Yeah, and I will too.
Because it happened quick.
It's bigger
Yeah.
than it was. So.
It just,
Yeah, I mean, it's.
the good news
it's
is
sinking.
where that sinkhole is, ideally, what their plan is to bring instead of that culvert going straight out, well, here's your bridge and that culvert going out beside it.
Right.
It's actually going to run at a 45 about where that sinkhole is. It'll cross, it'll about intersect where that sinkhole is, and come out on the other side of the bridge. So hopefully as the bridge is going, it'll pull the water.
That's what I was telling them. I wondered if the river didn't wash behind there and it's now just collapsing.
Right.
Because that wall that was there is now laying in the creek.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that one really,
You can see the
that
culvert.
tree, I don't know if I want to say the tree really helped or really hurt. Maybe it's going to make it take action. So,
The tree's growing.
Blessing in disguise, kind of.
The tree's growing.
Oh, I'm certain it's got all the water
still-
it needs.
It's still alive.
It's perfect.
So
Maybe it'll just latch the bridge and we'll have like an alternate walkway or something. No.
But I told them while we were there fixing the line, we did bolt the guardrail back on, but someone would need to check it. We're
Yeah,
not
and that's,
guardrail guys.
I think that's part
We
of
were
it.
just trying to keep it from scratching someone's car because it was stuck so far out.
there's lots of
We appreciate
a lot of the fasteners that are there are not.
Yeah. I would
I'm
say
sure that's
they need
part
to
of the,
check that out.
they said that was part of what they turned in.
Yeah.
Well, the whole,
All right, so thinking ahead, if that pothole widens, and we're not able to get through, it opened up overnight. It's bigger now, it's probably 3 times as big as it was Sunday morning.
It would definitely be something on.
yeah, that's our area. That's 100% error.
Uh-huh.
Really, the only thing that the city has any,
Water line.
world down there is just water. You all don't have sewer down that far either.
No.
do you? So it's just
We
the
don't
water
have
line.
sewer that far.
What
Yeah.
kind of time frame do you usually have when you submit something to FEMA before you get any answers?
I'm sorry, John, I can't.
What kind of time frame is it usually when you submit something like that to FEMA? I mean, I know it's hard to say, but
Yeah,
6 months
and
to a
it's,
year.
it's almost like spin the wheel. Jennifer probably knows as much about it. I'm not pushing anything off
It's
on her.
usually 6 months to a year.
She's seen a whole bunch of that stuff. So what we kind of do in that situation, we just kind of keep putting Band-Aids after Band-Aids on it until something happens. Now, and I say that I think if they got like an okay, 100%, but it was a delay in the money, then we would probably go ahead and start construction knowing that the money's coming.
Yeah.
But until they
have
kind of
to
do
the
this,
coffers.
we're kind of just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do definitely need to, we've got to deal with whatever Trimmers 2, Kevin Bacon remake movies going on down there. We got to deal with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely I never saw a stump that big touching the bottom of the rig. I bet it's 12 feet high.
Well, it's as big as,
It is wedged.
Yeah.
As big as it is, I'm sure they're gonna need some sort of crane or something to get that out.
Right.
So the biggest concern I think we have with the tree, root balls under there, if we get another rain that's like 3 or 4 inches or something like that, that water that normally goes over the bridge is gonna be in our yard. So every time it does that, it's creeping up. It took all of our driveway out this last time. And it was up under the house, it didn't get in the house. We're at about 8 inches. But with that root ball in there, it's just, we're just waiting for the next rainstorm to see, we become part of the Noah of the Ark kind of thing, or if we just lose it all. I don't know.
Hopefully they
It's
can
concern
get you
for
some
us, and
help.
we're not just sitting here quietly holding our breath, waiting. We're tapping our toes a little bit.
Thanks for the keys for reference. It's a good deal. Always use $1 or a key or something. Because it doesn't look like anything till you look at the next to the key, and then you're like,
And that crack right there where the keys are,
it's now in.
that's already in there. I'll keep doing
So
that.
he has to show people
I'll put a tape measure on it next time.
to show that it's getting larger.
And it's not going straight down, it's going at an angle and it's going towards the bridge.
Bet you money the water's hollowed that out.
That way it's not stagnant.
Well, I'm afraid if somebody drives over it and that bridge, or that part of it collapses.
If it goes sideways at all, where everybody that's on that side of it, nobody's gonna go across that, just the whole goes sideways.
I think they're saying step it up. You right?
It's selective.
Then
I'm sure to find out why I got took off the total list.
well, one thing, you don't have a privilege license.
Huh?
You don't have a privilege license.
I have this other thing now.
And you also have a notice to clean up the area down there. We can't contribute to more cars being
Never
parked.
had a notice off me, or I never decided for anything. They came back from there and told me, move some cars down. I asked them, where you gonna move? Nobody knows.
You know, you gotta put them around back.
Nobody told me that, but y'all tell me I'm driving, you can't just take somebody off of a toll list.
You are off the toll list until you clean up down there. We can't contribute to the problem.
So it's fine for you to run a scrapyard up here, in the city.
Yes, we recycle that.
Yeah,
We sure do.
but you can't read, but when I read it, but you pick me out, I'm on the other end of town.
No,
You
when
didn't,
someone
nobody
files a
told me.
complaint, that's what we gotta do is,
You told the township, they take anybody from that, you can take part, they take.
I don't know anything about that. I mean, that's your word against mine or what have you.
But anyway, so I want something done about it, I won't take part off against it.
Do whatever you gotta do then, sorry.
So what do you want me to do then? Nobody's ever told me nothing.
We have,
No, they ain't.
we have.
Who told me?
Move your cars around back, clean up the property, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, what about ours, with this, man, that car's.
We're talking about you.
So it's,
We'll deal with the other ones too. You don't know what we have and haven't done.
I don't want to see if you said this to me 3 months ago. I've been on toll list.
Again,
And then people that do, they take my customer now, they take their car away hard. Cops have said, wait 2 hours for a record, a rollback, and I need
they're not
15
waiting
minutes.
2 hours. We keep a log of that, it's 30 minutes.
So I ain't gonna get back on toll list.
You get back on the tow list when you clean up the property. You move the cars around back and you'll be good to go.
Why didn't I come at the beginning?
We have,
You didn't.
we did. I'm not gonna argue with you, but we did.
You need to take the truck and run it on the tank first thing. You're supposed to sack somebody to tell them something. You don't take.
We have. You've been cited several times. Yeah. Now, what do you got, man?
Me?
Or anyone else for that
What
matter?
I need to know, who owns Pride Terrace? Now, we came off Sanctified Hill.
Pride Terrace is a separate entity. It is not owned by the city in any way. It was a commission that was formed years ago when they were moved down from there. Most of the people that were there now have died off.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm the only
then no one released it
original
to,
person still there. And I got neighbors that act like they own the parking lot. I got pictures to show you how they park. I mean, they taking up 3 parking spaces where they supposed to be just having 1. And then,
are they junk cars, do you know?
no, they drive them. But they just got them parked any kind of way. So is there a way that y'all can, somebody
Well,
can
what
walk
we
along?
can do, we can go by city ordinance and look at them. Check
Well,
them
somebody
out.
needs to come up there and look at them, and plus, I just got a handicap sticker today. I wanna park, due to the fact the lady that did, I know her very well, but she died off. But she didn't put parking numbers, this and that for people's houses. We are due 2 parking spaces, 1 for ourselves and 1 for neighbors or visitors, whatever.
That would be up to the entity though to enforce that. That wasn't
It's
something
kind
the
of,
city did.
that's one of the, truly, not taking up for him, Rick. It happens to fall in, well, not all of it's in city limits, is it? Or is
No.
just a portion is in city limits? And then like, you go over this way, and the county has some jurisdiction on the back side that really doesn't have any, I don't think any part of the house, and it's just a strip that goes kind of behind the football, because we have the road, Harris Lane or whatever, that
Yes.
goes around behind the football field. So we get a little knob of it. And then if you ask the state, they kind of go, well, it's in the state, but it's not really,
But it's not
A
city
state-
street, city
they-
So y'all
sidewalk.
don't do nothing with them houses over there.
really, we help when
Only
we can. I
thing
know
we
he
do
helps
is when it comes
Well,
to,
only reason why I asked about the house because it was this empty house, and you go up, when the trash comes on Thursday, right? Well, if you go up there right now, you'll see right in front of my house, but it's on that side of the road, they got trash piled up already.
I'll go and find out who it is, cite 'em.
They already got it out right now. I got a picture of it right now on my phone. I got
believe
pictures
you,
of
we've
the
had
cars.
multiple complaints about that, and we do cite them, but,
Okay,
he
well,
can go
it's-
cite them for that.
It's 3 families that's right there in that plaza, that little cut by themselves.
Do you have like an address you could give us?
Or let him see the picture.
Yeah, let him see the
Recognize
picture,
where it's
that
at.
way, he'll know more about
The
what we're
picture
talking
of
about.
the trash?
Yes, ma'am.
You're wrong.
Okay.
Because you all, really the only time you get involved, it's similar like with Hiram, you have water, sewer, and garbage
Yeah.
services up there that follow certain city ordinances. Other than that, parking spots, that's all with whatever federal authority was created when
It
they
was a
moved everybody
government,
up there.
the Army Corps of Engineers set that up, so it would be up to, you could probably contact someone with the Army Corps and find out who was originally in charge of that, or if it was transferred to anyone, but it was never transferred to the city.
It was never,
The houses?
The streets or the sidewalks.
Right.
They wouldn't transfer the houses.
Cause I even went to the renter, the woman that owns the renter houses. And I was telling her about the parking, whatever. She told me, park somewhere else. I said, look, I've been here before you even rented these houses out to these people. They 2 young boys,
Who's the landlord?
Gwen Bullock.
Oh.
Gwen Bullock is the owner of them 3 property houses. And the guys that she got in there, one of them is a brother. He really don't supposed to be over there, but he stays with his brother. So he's the one that got nasty with me and wouldn't let me just have that one little spot that I asked for. You know,
That part I can't help you with as far as
I'll
spots,
try to call the hall in tomorrow and check on that.
but the garbage we can help you with. No
That garbage
problem
right
at
there,
all.
you can barely see it. See it? It's right there, and I just took that today, but it got blurry.
So when that was
But look
originally
all the
done, what
bags
did
in the
they
box.
create a
You go up
board?
there right
They
now.
created
and
a
look.
board,
And
and the
look.
board consisted of
Look.
everyone they moved over there. Got so many board members, and they were controlled to like.
See how they done went
Any
through,
fees they
all
took
this,
up, and they
is
had
these
fees,
people that get that,
taxes.
they done threw it on
So
their house
separate
right there,
entities,
because the
like
house
take care
was
of the
empty.
roads that
And
were
then
there,
look.
the sidewalks that were there, and as
So
people
that's
died
like
off,
a
no
truck,
one,
but longer.
The main lady's been dead years.
no one
You go up there
reported
right
it,
now,
and it's fell
you'll
through the
see that it's in
cracks,
front of
because they
my
keep
house, and my
asking
house
me,
is on
when are you
this
gonna
side,
blacktop our parking lots?
this way.
We're not.
They house is
It's not
back here where the
ours.
grass
Is there
is.
a housing authority up there still, or is it all just real,
But that's-
There's one
landlord
at
owned?
the
I had no idea.
There's
how that
one
worked.
that's
It's not really a housing, it's a HUD.
Just ride up
But
here
But
and
it's
look.
social
At the
park.
very
Sees
top.
it
It
run
sounds
over
like
here.
something that needs to be figured out, though, for sure.
It's nothing I can figure.
Right.
It's right
That
in
would
front
be-
of me.
It's
Nobody
up
living
to
in
the
that house.
citizens
The
and the
house,
Army Corps of Engineers
was
as to who was
empty,
transferred
and they took it and
ownership.
just threw
So
all
they
the
were all
trash
given
up
property
there.
when
That
they
just
were
got
there.
up there, a
So
couple days
appealed
ago.
to them.
That one is
Right.
there.
I had
they
no
were in
idea.
charge of, like,
That's-
they had new homes built for each one.
Okay, so
Maybe-
now this guy right
maybe
here, I don't
something
know if y'all
at a
remember
different time, because it feels like part of Cumberland,
this guy
to
right
consider
I do
annexing
agree.
that.
here.
And we would probably have to go that route, but we would also have
He
to do
don't
a
supposed to
special
park
election.
like that. He's supposed to
Put
be
it on
parking.
Put it on the ballot.
Ballot.
Yeah, there's a procedure for that.
And let the citizens decide, because it seems like right now, no one knows.
It would probably be in their best interest if it became part of the city.
What would happen though, is it would only be the street,
No,
sidewalk, it would not be the
but
parking
you still
lot.
supposed to park right.
We could
because
not
there
be
are other
responsible
people
for
that lives
parking.
there and that comes
One
there.
thing, I don't want
If
that,
I hear parking like that.
anything to do with
you
that,
can't-
That's certainly, that's.
whoever wired it,
Because I can't squeeze my car inside.
I just ask, you know we know about wiring.
And the guy
What's the
cutting
first thing when you
grass,
do when you
grass
do
off
underground
the
survey?
There he is.
You mark it.
There goes my-
Plan that, where do you put your wire?
There goes two
Conduit.
cars beside
Guess
me.
what?
They're me.
None.
Not conduit.
I know
I
that.
want to park
None
right
of
here.
There's none of it.
They got conduit that runs down the pole. One of my guys accidentally nicked one near a water meter, got shot. That is ridiculous.
They also have heaters in the ceilings, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
They still work.
I know.
Heaters in the ceilings.
Heaters in the ceiling.
All the drywall has strands of wire run through it that heated the drywall, even in the wall.
It's not a baseboard heater, it's a ceiling.
Wow. Dude, I've never heard that before. That's crazy.
Wall heaters. It was high tech.
And they still work.
High tech,
But
huh?
the bad thing about the service is we accidentally in the ditch line found KU's main power lines laying in the ditch, uncovered, no conduit. So they had me cover it up, just gently.
I seem to remember when that happened. I remember that one.
He said if I would've got into it, it would blew the back of the blade off the back.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was thinking, why is it not in conduit? Why is it not marked? There's no markings anywhere.
That's crazy, dude.
I think someone got by with something there, because I've never seen, you know, 4-aught wire or bigger laid in the ground. You know, you run the conduit down the pole and you just quit. Someone saved money somewhere, but it could get you killed.
Oh,
Imagine a kid playing or digging on it.
hell yeah. Yeah, get vaporized.
Just right up there and just look how packed it is. Look.
Probably scary to know that probably ain't the only place around here like that.
No,
Oh,
there's
I'm
lots
scared.
of them.
One of many.
Probably not, but that was a shocker to me, being fairly new structure, what I consider new. I think it was in the 70s. But
So they moved them from
engineers did that, so how did they
sanctified. Okay.
I don't ever remember wiring laws being made where you do that.
Well, it's weird, the National Electric Code only applies to the customer side. The utilities are exempted from it. They write their own code. What could go wrong with that?
Well, see,
They write their own code.
there was an old house beside the church up there.
What could possibly go
Tore
wrong?
down two or three houses. That's how I know about the wire
Yeah.
receiver and all, but they were never disconnected from the transformers, and I'm used to seeing lines overhead, so I'm just digging away and I was like, poof! was that? It was still wired.
Yeah,
So they had to come and pull the wire in the transformer from that one house.
Right, but I tried to call. The name.
Wow, that is wild.
People that sell in the house, call them and say, hey, there's a car blocking your house.
So if they did choose to incorporate with the city, it's only the main streets and that's it.
And the sidewalk on the
And then-
one side.
So they would get some of the rights of being citizens of Cumberland, but then they would also have to pay Cumberland property tax.
If the street needed paved naturally, and it probably does, but the parking lots are the worst.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Is that, I've got a book that's got the instructions for that, the house, if you're interested. I can show you what it, there's a procedure.
Oh, okay.
The citizens have to, in that community, have to vote to do it, and then it gets put on the ballot,
Right.
and then it becomes.
I think you have to have a majority
It
of
was
the
from Maddie
citizens,
Knight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard
and
of
then it goes
Maddie
to the
Knight.
ballot.
Maybe
She was
there's
the
a,
one
there's a
that
procedure.
did it.
I've never had to do
Process.
one, so
Our Hill
She was
City.
kind of the
it's kind of vague
She
to
was
me
the,
too.
yeah, she was the,
contact person of the person.
she was the person that in the houses the way they are, we don't have no, all that stuff. We don't have no central air, we got, fiberglass, heating. We have to use the air conditioner one.
We just need to find out, get the address and just call the county courthouse and see who owns it. I'm sure it's on my nuisance list because I turned a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And, that's when the county was taking line for free, so we couldn't get hold of it.
They're always calling
them. Most put a notice in the paper and then they tear it down. So where they're not taking it, now we're.
It wasn't really so bad.
So the guard, well, actually, one more quick thing. The gentleman that was in here that got took off the toll list.
It's the one George brought up at the Kansas City.
Okay. So we do have documentation that he was cited.
We've got tons of
Down there.
multiple over years.
Okay.
I have a privilege license. 9 times out of 10, I have it's never ending story. I hate it for him because I really like the guy. I really do. But I can't make exceptions to the rules.
Right.
Down there.
He doesn't know who we have. It's like,
Oh,
remember all the cars that were sitting down here? We just
Yep.
cited that guy.
that's a
They're
good
gone.
idea.
Right.
It's a process. Some of them will do it voluntarily. Some of them.
You have to push a little bit.
So he's right there.
I can't believe that ARH hasn't built a new entrance to the clinic already.
They have fussed more time than a minute over that. And all he's got to do is move them. There's plenty of room around back. Put them around back and you won't have any trouble getting it back on the toll list. We can't cite him for something and contribute to more cars.
No, there's not a dumpster, there's a bin.
Do they
Okay,
own,
who owns the bin?
Them
Do they own
people,
it?
that Maddie Knight and them who put that there. That's been there that
Okay, but
long.
who owns it now? I mean, Maddie Knight
It
is gone.
still belongs to Pride
It's still
Terrace
in that.
entity,
whatever that is?
whatever that entity is.
Okay, is there a way that somebody can write letters and tell people to get a garbage bin? I mean, we used to get them big old garbage, cans and put them in that and take our trash to that. I just showed him a picture where they got it on the side from my house. And dogs, that lady next door got dogs. Her dogs, she lets them out. They get in that trash, have trash all behind my house. You gotta come see behind my house.
The only thing I can do is, anybody that's got trash sitting out without a can, cite 'em.
I wait till Thursday mornings, every morning, and take mine out. You can ask the guys. I meet them every morning at, every Thursday.
We
8
have a
o'clock.
lot of citizens
my
that
trash
do
out.
that, yes.
Cause the bears
You got
out,
to.
like I said, that lady let her dogs out, then we have stray dogs, and trash be all behind my house, in front of my yard, and I got to go out there and pick that mess up. I can't be doing that.
Who would have like the latest information about this? About Pride Terrace and
I would
ownership
say the
and
Army Corps of
Somebody
Engineers.
needs to take over, because I mean,
Army
it's
Corps of
gone to
Engineering.
18 heights.
And I'll tell you something else
Don't
that
nobody care
might be
about it.
something would be the,
Cause
PVA
Maddie Knight
office
died,
may have
and
some
nobody else
information.
trying to take
PVA?
responsibility.
They
Maddie
may.
Knight was over it at one time.
Maddie Knight was the head
Passed away.
person.
I'm gonna try to look. I'm gonna try to.
But
dig
she's
into
gone,
that.
so somebody else should take initiative and keep Pride Terrace. I mean, it's gone.
There's another option and it would be up to the citizens.
Yeah, you
If
can,
we annexed them into Cumberland,
right. You can
that
annex
would
them.
take care of the main road, but not the parking lots.
Right.
Citizens, the
That's what I
parking
ran
lots
into,
were,
that very first turn in there, State Square. big pothole there or
That
whatever.
also
Yeah,
allow
And they've
yeah.
asked me about it. asked
enforce
me about it.
nuisance ordinances, not just for garbage, but just for
All of those side
unsightly
roads are not
things around too.
considered
We
considered
have
park.
all kinds of nuisance
Because
ordinances.
when you go in, you know, as soon as you go past that
Yeah,
little
loose
area
on
right
us,
there.
like an
where the
umbrella.
pothole is,
Right.
then it's
Right,
all.
that's what I mean. If they chose to do that, that would be something they would get. I mean, like you said, they'd have to pay the tax, but
Yeah.
you know, they would get some
He can
advantages
pay
of
for
it,
it.
besides, other
I would
than
just always
trying to get
assume
the
that
parking lot
projects
paid.
was part of Cumberland.
Me too.
Me
Oh,
too,
yeah.
up until taking
Oh, no
this
matter
position.
what.
It feels like Cumberland.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a certain part of
Do
it
something.
actually falls in the county side. What was the name of that? Paul, what was the name of that street you said that falls in the county up there?
Paris Lane.
Paris Lane?
Paris Lane on the back side.
Yes.
That goes up to, where Wayne Day lived and,
Yes.
and what's her face. And then there's a little piece of property that
So
kind
you would
of
have thought that
follows
was
along
city
that.
limits.
It goes
too.
kind of behind the football field. There's a cemetery behind the football field there.
Yes.
And I think it just kind of juts up to a certain point, and then there's actually a tract of land that Bianchi had. I think they just sold. It goes all the way there from behind the college, about 50 some acres, a pretty good chunk, 20 some acres. It was a good piece of land. So here lately, you could get to it either by Paris Lane or right when you come to the college. There's a service road that goes up to the water tower.
Yeah, the people that bought that, up to Bianchi's, actually came to one of our meetings. And
Said
was
you had to
asking
pay the
how
road,
to get a
but-
better road, and I was like, it's not a city
It's
road.
a service road.
Well, what about the one where Wayne Day lives? I said, that's not city either.
No.
I said, you'd have to
Paris Lane.
negotiate with your neighbors, I guess.
And you have to have I don't know if there's a right of way from Paris Lane, but there's like a little strip of property that's not much, 100 feet or something, but
Or less.
there's no right of way from Paris
The
Lane.
only right of way we have going up the main road is service that tank.
Service the tank, yeah.
We don't have anything that goes from that property over to where
No, here
Paris
or
Lane
there,
is.
just straight to the tank and back.
Their water line actually comes down the hill and then goes back up the street.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of the Pride Terrace thing is
Okay, cause we got a
a
few
no
houses.
man's land. It's kind of an odd deal. It really is.
It's just one
strange setup.
house, that whole house, I mean, it's still in and fell in, and the only bad part is really sad. The young lady that's supposed to own that house, nobody find her. We don't know. where
There's
she's
3
at.
houses up there that's on our,
That one that I
demolition.
showed him, where they put all that mess that needs to be taken down, that house with the ceiling, and then it's the house in between the first house, when you come up here, when you first turn that first turn, that second house needs to be taken down.
yeah,
I
I
think
took
it's
the
on
one
the
down,
list.
I took the one down beside the church
Right.
wherever the county was hauling it off for
Right,
free.
I know who's in that house too. I knew that person.
Yeah.
very
But
well.
I think the church acquired it and
They
then
did. Nonprofits, so we were able to.
we were able to work with nonprofits to take it down, and not be on private property.
It's like a Rubik's Cube with no color stickers on it. You really don't know why you can do a whole lot of stuff. Really not
It's sad.
anywhere.
It's sad. I
It
mean,
is.
As
the
people
person
died
that
off,
put the houses up is
members
gone,
should have been
and now
replaced.
the place is just going down, and I live there.
Right.
I mean, ain't nothing to do with.
I don't know how
shelter,
many
like, see what
members
they-
even served on that board, to be honest with you, but I do know that as they died off, someone should have been appointed to replace that.
All the
person.
old people that lived up
They're all
on that hill,
dead,
that died out, there's no living
But I think Miss
person.
Lee was on it. I mean, I think it was several
Miss
that were on it.
Leopard
They've
is
all
the
passed.
only living person, and she can't do nothing, she got Alzheimer's and stuff, so she can't get in no committee to try to get.
Do you think her son might know who was the most recent person of it?
Miss Lee, Miss Gregory, there was
All
several
them
that were on it.
gone,
They've all
yeah,
passed.
all them passed, yeah, Miss Gregory,
Yeah.
and,
Was Tony's mom on it or not? Right there when you turn the State Square, that house she called
Oh,
the
no.
second one, and she wasn't, was she?
I think Miss Elder was.
Maybe.
Grandmother, I think the
Grandmother.
grandmother was on it, but other than that, they all died, I mean, ain't nobody else to
Well,
take
Jordan's
over.
gonna look into it too and see if he can find anything out.
Yeah, definitely.
If we find something out, we can only pass on what we learn, and I would say it would end up being an option of annexing it into Cumberland, and then it would have to be put on the ballot, and there's a process, and no, I don't know the whole process of that. But it would be up to the citizens, I'm sure, to vote on it, if they wanted to be included in that.
Cause we put a street light up there and you kept getting a mess over there.
Yeah. trying to do something good.
End up getting turned into attorney general there.
Oh my goodness.
What are we doing putting street lights up?
I won't get mad. I won't have the other.
I was asking him, why is the water so hot? Considering I'm by myself, I don't use a lot of water.
If you've read the paper and just, I'm not saying you should come to every council meeting, you're more than welcome to.
I
But
just found
we've
out
had-
about it, and that's why I'm here now, showing
We've had
my
several
support
things
on
from
what's
the-
going on in my area, cause
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mess.
It
And
is.
people park any way they wanna park, and I have to suffer through it, and I've been there longer than all of them.
Well, if it's cars that aren't tagged or insured, the law enforcement can definitely handle
Well,
that
they
part of
tag.
it.
They all pay.
And then, getting back to why the water is where it is, we've been mandated by the state on our water and sewage bills that Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch all had problems with their sewer. We've actually made tremendous progress in theirs, and one of them was we had to raise rates or had to
Well,
turn it
Benham,
over to the
somebody told
state.
me from Benham, there's only $80 a month.
That's not true.
That's incorrect.
That's not true.
No. We have copies of all of them.
That might be-
Ours is the lowest.
That might be just for your water in Benham,
Yeah, it might be just for the water, but
not the
I know
total
for a
bill.
fact how much they.
I think the total bill's about $160. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is.
Okay.
Ours is the
I
cheapest
might
of
have
the three
misunderstood
cities.
what you said.
That
You
might be
said
just
something
their water though.
about- okay.
Benham was the highest
Yeah.
of the three
Mhm.
Okay.
by a few dollars. And I think Lynch actually was
We
lower. I
either
think
took
they've
the
had to go
deal
up.
to raise them where they are, or
But
we,
this is just one set rate of water, right?
yeah, it's
There's a
flat rate.
minimum. Now, if you go over the minimum, if you're filling up swimming pool.
You
or
always,
whatever,
you
it'll
always
show that.
have minimum bill, you do, that's why yours is always the same.
Yeah, it'll show the
You
same.
don't want-
Yeah,
It'll
cause
go
I
over
don't,
the-
yeah, I don't, that's what I'm saying, I don't use that much
It's
water.
17.
2,000 gallons, or 25, or 23 or something.
2,000.
2,000.
I
Yeah, I
think
don't
so,
use that
somewhere
much. I
around
mean, I take baths and stuff, sure, I ain't stinking, but I don't wash cars and I don't do all that other stuff, you know.
Well, had we not taken the deal to do what we did, we would have wound up in receivership at one time, which would have, they gave us one option to merge the three cities together with, their water and sewer. Ours in just the Cumberland, on top of what you're paying now, would have went up an additional $23. That's why we didn't take it. We fixed our issue with the sewer plant other than
FEMA is good, ain't it?
FEMA's good. I get a call from them every week.
I wish you could have come in and got you had 5 questions, got 5 great answers, right?
Exactly.
Welcome to government. And it ain't even them, just welcome to government. 5 questions.
Well, it is unfortunate. Frank Harris definitely needs to be, something needs to be done over there.
I showed him a picture where cars, I mean, wasn't it? Just park any kind of way. I mean, park it, I mean, just pull in, don't even try to get a spot.
I know
Just
someone
pull
told
in.
me at one time they were allotted 2 parking spaces. per
We
house.
are, our own, and then our visitors. And on that wall, I had this guy who paid 107 only. Well, the guy in the brown car that I showed you, he looked at me and snatched his head when I said, excuse me. I was gonna say, can I, have that parking space? He turned his head, I ain't got a chance to say nothing to him. And then I called the cops on him, so the cops came, now we can't do nothing, we
It is
this, we that."
because it's not our property. It's really a civil dispute.
Similar, if you were, Maston Drive or whatever up there, same thing, once you go past a certain point.
Yeah.
There's a road.
It's up to them
and
to
then
take
everything off
care
the
of
road
their
is a parking
parking
lot.
spaces, and it's just the road.
It's
All
kinda
I've been
nuts.
talking about, you don't have the nothing going through.
Yeah, it's nuts, ain't it? It's great. I've had to deal with all this stuff. Yeah, there's nothing, in that case, the Winterwood has some of the properties up there on Pride Terrace to the left. Winterwood has,
Winterwood is the
Rite
lower,
Aid and
yes.
Radford Square and Lynch or something.
Maxton.
Winterwood got one house in my area, cause I'm number 7.
Now,
It's six,
Winterwood might be able to take
it's
some.
6 other houses, but
Winterwood.
it's one.
We might have a phone number for them.
But
Let's
let-
take care of
They have some
some
property
billing.
up there, and some of the
But let me
properties
ask
they
you
have.
If you have a number, that'd
they
be great.
enforce the parking on
Because
the spot.
I'll kill it.
Between now and the next meeting, I'd like to at least have
Can
some
I ask y'all?
general idea of what's
Yes.
going on.
Okay, Gwen Bullock owns across from my house, the house I showed him, 1, 2, 3. Is there anything you could say to her? Cause I went to her and she got smart with me. So-
I haven't seen any issue. I would have to see what's going on with the three
I
houses.
just showed you the parking. I just showed him
I know
how
you
they
showed-
parking
You
in
showed them
Cumberland.
to,
You gotta understand though.
the parking doesn't fall on the city, unfortunately.
Well, that's about all the grants I have is just the parking. I don't have nothing else. I mean, you can put whatever you want to in your house. You can put a dope attic if you want in your house. I mean, it's a child molester from what I heard is in our neighborhood, but I can't prove it.
Is your,
It's just hearsay.
is it marked on the parking space for your house?
It got 107 on the concrete. And he's still sitting there. He would not move his car at all because he's scared on the kid.
Does your deed to your property say something like that? It may
See, I
be a
don't
saving
have a
grace
deed.
there.
That's just it.
Well, you can get a copy now at the PVA office in Harlan of your
I
deed.
just had one today.
Get you a copy and see if it shows that you are indeed have 2 parking spaces there. Then, yeah, they can enforce that because
I
it's
do.
your
We
property.
all have 2 parking spaces. Every house in my area have 2 parking
But-
spaces.
But
I would
don't know if that's
highly
She
just-
advise-
didn't.
Don't know if that's just an agreement or if it's actually on the.
It has to be in writing for them to be able to
It
enforce
was on the
something.
deed because we was, when we first moved in, we was getting our 2 parking spaces. We was.
Go down there and get you a copy from the PVA office. They'll have a complete map of,
Yeah, the
he,
whole-
right here sits an engineer. He can tell you, when you go to PVA office, that's how they get all their information too.
Okay. I will
I think that'll
I
help
went
you.
today, but I didn't think that's in there because I'm just not coming here.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know.
get it, and if you find it, you get a copy, come back next meeting, and let's see what we can do there. If you find something on it, okay?
They want to help.
We do want to help.
Everybody in this room wants
We
to
just
help.
can't send an officer over there and when they
Yeah,
might
you
be
know, do
trespassing on
But
someone
if
else.
They, even if I had a handicap
She could
stick
break
right on it.
Yeah, if the deed says
It
that,
does
you
in
can,
town.
you can bring it by. You don't have to wait till next week. If the deed says you has 2 property, bring it by here and we'll go from there.
Try to sort out which 2 it is and then you.
Yeah, it should
Secretary
show
of State.
exactly where
Actually,
they're located.
it's only
Because they technically
four.
trespass, right? Someone
Yes.
else in that spot would be trespassing. Just like they park in your yard.
Yeah, because it's 4, really 4 cars.
Okay,
in
I'll do
that
that. Thank you.
space Where it's only 3 now. The red car, the brown car, my car, because I showed him. I said,
Do you know her
"Pictures,
address
but
up there?
Actually 4.
Her
because if
address, you
Everybody
can ask.
scoot over.
Ma'am,
What's your address?
up there?
107 State Square.
107 State Square.
You're on the, when you cut in state, you're on the left hand side.
I'm
Is that
right
correct?
in front of the fire hydrant. They put a big old fire hydrant in front of my yard. That's how you can tell where I live at.
Not before you go up.
You stop before you go to run the Earls, hit that road.
Before you hit that boom, boom, going
Yeah.
up, it's right there.
I'm house right there.
Okay.
You ready to come up towards his house? I'm right there.
If you get a copy of that deed, bring it to us.
I'll call them or go to them and.
If she has, if she has, a deed that shows that she owns 2 parking spaces, then you all can have people that's on there remove their cars.
What's Winterwood?
Cause I do have 2.
I'm gonna have to ask her.
Okay, is it,
It's, I don't know if it's HUD or Housing Authority.
Winterwood is its own entity. That,
Probably own.
they just own property?
But they
own
still
their
should have, they had to buy their property. That wasn't originally theirs.
So they had to get it from someone.
They had to get it from somewhere.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And they used to give me $35 a month for my lake.
Well, that's a good place to start in.
they leave.
Yeah.
That's
I'll figure something out.
Winterwood's owned by a private.
It's
private.
I think so. Don't hold me to that, because I'm not a roof. Robin, Winterwood, like its own private entity.
Yeah, because they deal with like, they even pay like certain bills, water bills over there.
So they don't do just like investment properties?
Joyce Hardy.
No, I think it's in with HUD some way. It's similar to the way HUD manages property.
But
Okay.
they didn't originally have that.
She live
That-
right beside me. That's
They
the
bought
Right.
that later on.
Okay, okay.
Live in that house.
It probably is through HUD, probably subsidized rent and stuff like that for people.
It's the one, it's the big
Right.
apartment.
Ella sells over her house.
On the left?
Yeah, it's a big, long building.
Yeah, okay, I know where.
That whole house is going to the
All right.
house.
Anyone have anything else?
I think that Western Drive area.
Straight
Like
ahead.
urban renewal development.
Urban
And then they were
renewal.
sold out to Winterwood and then, Cumberland Associates.
Yeah.
I think all those were done that way.
But they had their own organization at one time where they even took up their own taxes. It was supposed to maintain.
Almost like a homeowners association.
Yeah, HOA.
That's sort of what it was.
But they just died off and no one got designated to replace their spots.
And now it's sort of fell in anybody's hands.
I've been here 33 years. It's been business, well, almost ever since I've been.
Oh,
That's how long it's.
I got you. Okay.
No one's ever been able to nail down what exactly to do. And I don't think they've ever brought up annexation. It'd be something they could all vote on and see if they want to do it.
So we might have to be like, have a public forum for them to do that and say, hey, if you're interested in this, come here this day and express
We
your.
have to find out the process exactly.
Yeah.
I've never been through it.
You got a big thick book.
I got a big thick book.
I wanna read it.
Annexation. I got a big
She
thick
can
book.
email you Winterwood's information.
Yes, please.
When Kelly comes in.
Green book.
Thick book that could probably be done in about 5 pages.
Mhm.
There's a section in there about annexation. It's a thing. That's the only tool we have as a city though.
Tell you what, I have a hard time getting paid.
Yeah, a lot of
Little
people
things,
do.
chase them down, call.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, like we're
That's why
talking-
it looks like it. Anybody have anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I moved to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, we did. Forgot.
Second reading of that
Sorry, gotta take that back.
franchise. Better put on my glasses. I'm only reading the top part of it. We've already read it once.
Yeah.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, City of Cumberland, ordinance number. You gotta get it. An ordinance creating a franchise for the erection and laying and maintenance of electrical facilities, pertinent facilities and equipment, along and across the public ways, roads, streets, alleys, other public places in the city of Cumberland for furnishing and selling electricity by means of said facilities and providing for the sale of franchise. That's where we didn't, unless you all wanted to raise franchise tax.
No.
No. All we need is a motion and a second. and it
Why don't we
stays the same.
wanna raise franchise tax?
Cause it goes
That's
directly on
totally up to you.
everybody's bill.
What is it?
It passes it on
Tax.
to the customer.
Oh, okay.
Currently
I don't wanna do
it's
that.
at 3, right?
It doesn't-
It just shows right up on their electric bill.
In other words, you're gonna pass it on to the customer and we're gonna.
Here's how he explained it.
Well, I just wanna know why we won't, what,
He said, I don't care if you raise it 10% cause it don't affect us.
yeah, I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I don't care, but it's why we've never raised.
So, I mean, the real question is do we want to levy more taxes against our citizens?
Right. No, it's probably not a good idea.
Feels like a backdoor way to get tax money anyway.
Yeah. That's probably exactly what it is.
I think so, it is.
Motion to leave the franchise tax as is.
I moved to leave the franchise tax as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
And here's the notice of sale of franchise that I have to run in the paper. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be read tonight or if that's just part of the process.
Okay, notice of sales of franchise. By virtue of an ordinance heretofore passed by the City Council of Cumberland, Kentucky, directing the advertisement for bid selling of franchise use of certain streets, alleys, public grounds in the City of Cumberland, Kentucky, for the purpose of owning, operating equipment, maintaining the system of transmission and distribution of electricity energy. The city clerk of Cumberland will own, I guess today, at or about 6:30 p.m., sell at public auction the highest bidder of the City Hall of Cumberland a franchise for the purpose of set out. Said franchise is more particularly described as fully defined in the proposed ordinance granting and creating the same, and said proposed ordinance defines the terms and conditions upon which said sale shall be made in the full text of which is available for inspection in the office of the City of Cumberland City Clerk, 402 West Main Street, Cumberland, Kentucky. The ordinance by title and summary is as follows. Ordinance, and she'll get the number for it. An ordinance establishing a franchise agreement related to the transmission and distribution of electrical energy, provisions of retail electric service in areas heretofore served by Kentucky Utilities Company.
I do have a question about that ordinance though. Does this set the terms of this franchise? That one?
The one we already had.
Or the one we just read for a second time?
The one we read for a second time
Yeah.
is the same as the one we.
Did it set the terms, like the length terms?
Lease?
The limit
The length, like was it 25 years
for 5 years.
or 5?
That was the option.
What was it?
We could either set it to review it every 5 years or
Yeah.
every 25 years.
I think you should do it every 5 years.
I do too, and I want to make sure it's not a 25 that we're not
The
signing
Well,
up
there-
last
for.
one was a 25, yeah, the last one that we passed was 25.
So I'll just tell him that that's what.
Yeah, it's not in here.
I just want to make sure that was,
We want it
yeah.
set
Whatever
for
the
5
minimum
Five,
is,
yeah.
yeah, minimum.
We can add that to the motion.
I mean, and the KU guy was sort of steering this because it's their franchise that's running up, but in the end, it really is our ordinance.
Right.
I'm gonna write on there for 5
Yes.
years.
So I'll tell him that's considered a second reading as long as it's
For
5
5 years.
Yeah.
We'll put that
And if
in,
not, we'll have to do it next
put
time.
that in the form of a motion, that way it's set for 5 years on our end and they can't change it.
Excuse me, can I ask one more? Who did you say owned the garbage bin?
The same entity, the corporation that
Okay,
started
that
it
owns
would
it.
own, there
Okay.
was 2 of them over there, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Somebody turned one of them into a shed or something, I don't know. Again, that's really nothing we can do about that
I
because
seen
we
that
don't have.
on the, they
Yeah.
got curtains and everything.
Oh my.
Hang up like it or something.
So we need a motion on that in the form of 5 years.
I moved to alter the ordinance to show 5 years instead of 25 terms.
Second.
Second, all in favor? We'll make sure he knows that and gets it to us in writing.
And if it's different, I'll tell him we'll have to start all over with the reading.
Did you make any progress with the trees? With KU, cutting the tops that fell in?
You remember he came back, well, you don't know if you were in here, he came back in, he said, we'll have
We were
an
leaving.
arborist come in and take care of that. Nor have to
That's why they're getting
What about
5 years.
what about street lights? Anything done with street lights? More
They
responsive?
fixed
No.
4, 5, maybe.
Yeah, but there's like
Not
50
me.
out.
Right.
Because everything we send them, they end up saying, oh.
Let's take
you
pictures
need
of
these.
them. I send them
We need a
GPS
number on
coordinates,
the pole. Guess
everything.
what? Most of those poles
We got the numbers off the poles. and
Yeah, I
everything.
tag them, send them maps, drop pins on
That's why they get 5 years.
I don't understand why a pole is not numbered.
They are.
Well, whenever I was in Lexington the other day, I noticed all their metal poles are marked clearly with numbers so that they can call them in. I'm sure it's the same situation. There's no reason they couldn't mark those metal
He
poles.
even sent me an email that said, from where I had sent him a list that we'd sent him. We came in here and said, I've researched and I can't find where you sent me anything. I said, well, you responded back to the email saying that you needed a little bit more information. No, we never did get nothing since 21, he said.
them. Print the email
Yeah.
and give it to him.
That's what I told him. I said, well, here's the email. You even sent it back to me with a response. And that was like maybe a month ago.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he sure did. I was like, you even responded to the one I sent you.
We need to send him the list once a week, same year, till they get every single street light.
There's lump in.
Oh, since
I mean, it's
Lisa, yeah.
ridiculous that you can't get street lights